get as much in the finding.
All right, good evening.
Okay, say that again.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is the February 19th, 2025 meeting of the Town of Newry, Maine Planning Board. This meeting will come to order. My name is Ted Baker, and I am the chairperson for the board. This is a public proceeding, and you, the public, have the right to hear everything that's being said,
All the public.
unless the, well,
We got
unless the
one.
board votes to enter into executive session for Maine's Freedom of Access Act. You also have the right to review any of the materials created or received by the board that relate to the board's deliberation, unless state law makes that document confidential. Please notify the board if you are unable to hear or would like to access any of the material. Tonight's meeting is also being audio recorded. If you would like or need access to this or previous meeting audio recordings, please see the town administrator. I would also like to welcome Western Hill Access Television. Everybody wave at the camera.
Right?
And its viewers. Please note that the video content created and published by Western Hill Access Television is private content and not subject to the Maine Freedom of Access Act. For those of you present, if you've not already done so, please sign in at this time. This is a working session of the Planning Board. Maine Freedom of Access law entitles the public to attend the meeting, take notes of the meeting, and make an audio or video recording of the meeting. The board's policy is not to allow public comment during the meeting. However, as chairperson, I may allow exceptions when it is in the interest of the board. An example of an exception would be to allow an abutter to address the board. Tonight's agenda includes the following business. Forget Development LLC application for a subdivision on Monkey Brook Road. Prior to attending to the above business, the board must first conduct some administrative procedures. Attendance. For Section 2B of the Newry Planning Board Ordinance, amended June 8, 2021, the board is made up of 3 voting members and 2 alternate members. In order for the meeting to proceed, I must first establish that a quorum is present. A quorum consists of 2 voting members. Members of the board are myself as chair, Bruce Pierce as vice chair, John Gauthier, also known as Gooch, as secretary. We also have 2 alternate members, Meredith Herrick and Rob Cates. Let the record show that we have 3 members of the board present, in the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. Having ascertained that a quorum exists, it will now move on to reviewing voting eligibility. A voting member that was absent for the previous meeting is not eligible to vote on old business unless they have completed an affidavit stating that they have reviewed the material for the missed meeting, read the draft minutes, and have listened to the audio recording of the meeting. For the record, the vice chair was absent for the board's last meeting and is not eligible to vote on approving the minutes for that meeting. There is, however, no old business carrying forward, and therefore the vice chair is eligible to vote on all other matters in this meeting. Having reviewed voting eligibility, I will now move on to the minutes of the prior meeting. Meredith Herrick, alternate member of the board, was appointed as a voting member of the board for the January 15th, 25 meeting to fill the vacancy created by the vice chair's absence. As such, Meredith is authorized to vote on review of the minutes of the last meeting. Does any member of the board have any edits or comments on the minutes? Rob? Gooch?
Nope.
Bruce? Meredith? I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I
make a motion that we approve the minutes of the January 15th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Having heard a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the January 15th, 2025 minutes as written, we will now take a vote.
1.
2.
3. Let the record show that the minutes were approved unanimously. Having completed our administrative duties, the board will now move on to tonight's business item.
The agenda has been edited, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, it has.
It has. Oh, look at that.
How so?
It says edit, right on the top. I have an email from our engineers under correspondence that I can read out loud, or I can just submit to the secretary.
That is dealing with the business to come, right?
It is. Do you want to wait until then?
We'll wait till
Okay.
to that time. Is there any other correspondence that needs to be brought before the board?
No, sir.
All right, we will then proceed to business for J Development LLC, Monkey Brook Road subdivision. As an introduction, the planning board is the administrating body of the town Unified Development Review Ordinance. The board refers to this ordinance by its acronym UDRO. The town has received an application for a subdivision on Monkey Brook Road. The application was prepared by Mainland Development Consultant Incorporated for 4J Development LLC. I have a couple questions for the CEO.
Yes, sir.
Has the application fee been collected?
It has
If so, state the amount and the check number for the record, please.
$850. Check number 1065.
Thank you. Is a copy of the application available for public review?
It is.
Please ensure that it shows the application number, the date received by the planning board, which will be tonight,
Yeah,
and it's marked as initial submission.
it is.
The chair acknowledges receipt of application on February 19th, 2025, and assigns the file number 25-285 to the application. Per UDRO Section 10B9, the planning board has 30 days to find the application complete or incomplete. The 30 days expires on March 21st, 2025. The planning board has scheduled meetings on March 5th and March 19th. Therefore, the latest the planning board may make its determination on completeness of the application is on March 19th. We'll move on to jurisdiction. The chair puts forth the following findings of fact. Section 1C of the UDRO defines the applicability of the ordinance. Section 1C1 specifically states subdivisions as defined by Title 30-A MRSA Section 4401. Therefore, the chair puts forth the following conclusion of law. The planning board has jurisdiction. The chair will entertain a motion to that such effect.
Well, yes, I think the planning board does have jurisdiction, and for some reason I can't say it in correct
Will you make that a motion, please?
language. Yes, I'll make that motion. But I will make a motion that the planning board has
Jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second it.
A motion has been made that the planning board, and properly seconded, that the planning board has jurisdiction. All those in favor?
1.
2.
3. The motion carries unanimously. The chair puts forth the following finding of fact. The initial application submitted by the applicant is for 7 residential lots. Section 24B of the UDRO defines a minor subdivision as any subdivision with less than 10 lots and/or dwelling units. The chair puts forth the following conclusion of law. Application 25-285 is for a minor subdivision. I will entertain a motion to that, please.
You want a motion that this is a minor subdivision?
That is correct, please.
I make a motion that this, being less than 10 lots, is a minor subdivision.
I'll second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that application 25-285 is for a minor subdivision. All those in favor?
1,
2,
3. Motion carries unanimously. We will now discuss the applicant's standing. The chair puts forth the following findings of fact. The applicant is proposing to subdivide a parcel of land defined by a warranty deed dated January 24th, 2019, and filed with the Oxford County Registry of Deeds in book 5450, page 596. This warranty deed conveys the parcel to Forget Development LLC. The chair puts forth the following findings of fact. The applicant executed a warranty deed and conveyed approximately 3.5 acres from the parcel defined in Oxford County Registry of Deeds, book number 5450, page 596, on April 8th, 2021 to one David L. Keneally, and is registered with the Oxford County Registry of Deeds, book number 5601, page 211. This division of land occurred within 5 years of the applicant's original deed, and therefore under 30-A MSRA 4401, this 3.5 acre parcel must also be part of the proposed subdivision of land. The chair puts forth the following conclusion of law. The applicant, Forget Development LLC, has standing to subdivide the tract of land defined in Oxford County Registry of Deeds, book number 5450, page 596. I will entertain a motion to that effect, please. I hear a motion that the applicant has standing, please.
I'll make a motion that the applicant has standing.
I'll second that.
It has been moved and seconded that the applicant has standing. All those in favor?
1,
2,
3. The motion is approved unanimously. I wanted to say that word by the end of the night. Proof of agency. The chair puts forth the following findings of fact. The applicant has submitted a letter authorizing Mainland Development Consultants Incorporated to act in its behalf in obtaining federal, state, and local permitting, including attending meetings, signing forms, and generally representing the project interest of Monkey Brook Road subdivision in Newry, Maine. This letter is an enclosure to Form 10.1 in the application package. The chair puts forth the following conclusion of law. Mainland Development Incorporated is a duly authorized agent for the applicant. I will entertain a motion to the same, please.
I make a motion that Mainland Development is the designated agent for this project.
I'll second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that Mainland Development Consultants Incorporated is an authorized agent for Forget Development LLC in this application. All those in favor?
1,
2,
3. Motion carries unanimously. We will now check for conflict of interest and or bias. As chair of the board, I have no conflict of interest with Forget Development LLC, nor do I hold any biases against Forget LLC. Mr. Vice Chair.
No
I'm
bias.
not the Vice Chair.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
We'll go down the line this way.
Okay, I thought never mind.
I, Bruce Pierce, have no qualms with this or any conflict of interest with this application at all.
I, John Gochi, have no qualms, no conflict of interest with Forget.
Meredith?
Conflicts of interest.
Rob?
I have no conflicts.
Having heard no conflict of interest or bias, does the applicant have anything to say about any members of the board?
No.
Therefore, let the record show that
Sorry to cut me off.
no
guard.
members of the board shall have any conflict of interest or can entertain any bias towards 4J LLC on the application. All right. Are you attentive with, okay, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm following along.
Does the applicant have any objections to the alternate members of the planning board to partake in the review process? Alternates may not make a motion to the board, nor be involved in the discussion and subsequent vote on a motion. Otherwise, the board would appreciate for their training purposes that they be allowed to partake in the review process. Are you okay with that?
The applicant is fine with that, yes, thank you.
Does the applicant have any objections to having the code enforcement officer or the recording secretary partake in the review process?
No objection.
All right. You may now present your project to the board, please.
Alrighty. So for the folks at home, I'm sure riveted on the TV, and for the recorder somewhere, Rick Dutton with Mainland Development Consultants, representing 4J Development LLC. I'm gonna stand up and kind of point to the board for a second here. The findings already laid out by Mr. Chairman, I think do a lot to kind of tell you what's being proposed here, but it is a 7-lot subdivision on approximately 28 acres. Six of the lots which are subject to review, and then one that was created prior. Average lot size, excluding the larger lot, which we often call a kingdom lot, at 16.36 acres. The average size of the rest of them is around 1.5 acres. As far as location within the town, this is right on the line between the end of the town-owned portion of Monkey Brook Road and where it turns to private road owned by Senator River. And that's, north is to your left of page, and then Senator River and Jordan Bowl is, Jordan is that way, and then Southridge is back top of page. Some other plan orientation, building envelopes are shown in pink. And so we've got planned building envelopes laid out on this plan. There's planned for shared driveways, and so there are easements planned for those shared driveways. Those are shown in blue here. There are easements for stormwater ponds. Those are shown in green, one here and one here. And then lastly, there are a few minor forested wetlands that are shown in this purple color, 1, 2, 3 there. That's the basics of the plan. I'll look to the board to see if you'd like me to continue. What I will often do is introduce the application package and what we're presenting to you in that. But I want to be respectful that you guys have your own process, and I don't know if this is the time and place.
I just have a question. So you say the lots are all approximately 1.5 acres?
Their average size is 1.5 acres.
Average
They range
size.
from 1.1.
So the big lot is one lot, and then going up the page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what's that little square thing in the back then?
This is part of lot 1.
What's what?
This is part of lot 1. This is all part of lot 1. So this is the buildable area for lot 1.
Okay, well, and then what's that? Then what's the yellow sign on heading up toward Jordan? Then what's that?
That's the
That's the pond.
Yeah, this right here is a easement for stormwater.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, what it does,
Because I
it
don't have my glasses on.
achieves the designated, minimum road frontage um, for lot one. But it's not intended to be accessed via that portion. That makes sense.
And will you point out to the board lot 7, please?
Yeah, and lot 7 is, map 13, on the tax map, it's called 13D. So this is that 7th lot.
Glasses on, what?
They're in your packet.
Your glasses?
No, your packet.
Oh. All right, I guess I can pull that out.
Are there any other general questions from the board? Again,
So
as a reminder, we are not applying the ordinance to the application. We are simply an introduction. So keep any questions general in nature, please.
There are no open water streams on this parcel.
Correct. Yeah. No streams, just a couple of them.
I was noticing that the line between lot 1 and lot 2 is a little over 800 feet long, making it about 900 feet at peak. And you gain 400 feet in altitude and 900 feet.
It's pretty darn steep.
Yep.
That is correct. Yeah.
Mr. Dutton, you may proceed with your presentation. Again, reminder that this is just the determination for completeness, so therefore we will not be looking into applying the ordinance to the application.
Understood, thank you. So, you guys have a package in front of you that is organized with the requisite forms for the UDRO, 10.1 through 10.4, and then, so you've got tabs, excuse me, tabs that follow that organization. So 10.1 would be under tab 1, 10.2 is under tab 2, and so on. And then there are supplemental submittals that are associated with those particular forms, and those follow in that section. So for example, Form 10.1 is the project description and checkoff of minor subdivision. Oh, I apologize. That must be 10.0. That's the original application form. 10.1 is some applicant information, there we go. And then along with that, because it makes sense, is the authorization letter for duly authorizing mainland as an agent, and so forth. So, just a quick spin through the table of contents. We've got deeds, proposed deed restrictions for the subdivision, because there are some easements that need to be defined, and some responsibility to the maintenance of stormwater devices. Otherwise, the applicant would probably opt not for having deed restrictions, but there are those in draft form submitted. There's in a butters list, statement of liquidation, harvesting, or the lack thereof. There is a driveway letter from Sunny River. And so that's essentially all of the lots would gain access from a stretch of the Monkey Brook Road that's owned by Sunny River, and therefore the Sunny River needed to authorize those entrances. They
Please pause right there.
Yes.
Take a look at that.
This is after the abutters list?
That would be after the abutters list, yep, and then after the,
It's right after the timber liquidation statement.
right.
Just the top, or that one email page? And there's
Yes.
no response from Okay,
was the road
okay,
ownership.
got it. So you're talking about that for the
That's-
Sunday River?
Yeah. That's right,
All right.
so.
Sorry for the interruption, please continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The intent there is that Sunday River is working with the applicant to approve the, I believe, the easements that would be required to make that, make those entrances go. We've got statements on sewage disposal. The applicant is requesting a waiver to the high-intensity soil survey requirement. So there's an explanation of that in there. Water supply, fire protection, statement, solid waste. I'm just kind of reading down through now, and I suppose you guys can do that as well as I can. Where the intent here, excuse me, the intent here is to be as complete as possible and have it be as user-friendly as possible. I know that's during our preliminary meeting or sketch plan meeting, whatever we call that. I know that's important to the board, and we worked with the CEO to hopefully get that in a format that's better suited. There are also letters to various agencies requesting their review, cost estimate, financial capacity statement, anticipated operating expenses for the development to the town, stormwater management plan, erosion and sedimentation control plan. Those are both prepared by a professional engineer. That would be me. And then in section 5, so you guys have 4 forms, 10.1 through 10.4. The 5th section is for plans. What we've provided here are 11 by 17 plant size plans in plan pockets. Behind that 5th section, and then there are, three copies I think have been provided of the full-size plan set. So that's the presentation of what we've given to you, and we're hopeful that is.
Joel, what's available to the public, the 9 by 17s or the full size?
Full size, and then I also have electronic version that I can email to anyone that requests it.
Rob or Meredith, any general questions for the applicant?
Nope.
Rich?
Nope, not yet.
Bruce?
I don't know if it's the appropriate place to put it, but I mean, if like I see this thing, no from Alan, about,
This is not the appropriate
Okay.
place.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dutton, for your introduction to the proposed project.
Thank you, folks.
Under the UDRO, the planning board is authorized to collect an additional fee to aid in its review of the application. The amount of the additional fee is either 1/2 of the application fee or $10,000, whichever is greater. The chair makes a motion that the applicant be required to pay the additional fee. May I have a second?
I'll second the application, that the applicant paid an additional fee, yes.
It has been moved and seconded that the applicant be required to pay an additional fee of $10,000 to aid the planning board in its review of the application. All those in favor?
1,
2,
3. The motion carries. Do we have, has that fee
It's not,
been?
it was recommended, but it has not been received.
Mr. Dutton, has that been passed on to your client?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I think, there was discussion on order of operations, whether it was first approved by the board, and then I think you would want to make sure that you guys voted for it before offering
he
10K in escrow, but yes, so we'll make that happen.
Okay.
Having decided to collect the additional fee, the chair directs the code enforcement officer to engage the consulting services of the engineering firm Goral Palmer to review the application for compliance with, and please, are you ready to copy? Conformance with UDRO Section 13G, erosion and sedimentation control. Conformance with UDRO 13.H, stormwater management. Conformance with UDRO Section 13Y, groundwater protection. Conformance with UDRO Section 17, storm drainage design and construction standards. I would also like the Goyle Farmer to answer the following questions. Agree or disagree with the applicant's subsurface wastewater disposal plan, which is part of Form 10.2, Item 17. Agree or disagree with the applicant's request for a waiver on the requirement for a Class A high-intensity soil survey. Does the stormwater management infrastructure need this survey, or from the engineering perspective, can a waiver be granted? And that is Form 10.2, Item 18, and we will discuss that later. Agree or disagree with the applicant's groundwater supply statement, Form 10.2, Item number 19. Agree or disagree with the applicant's statement that no state or federal permits are required. Agree or disagree with the applicant's estimated cost to construct 2 stormwater ponds for $20,000 and survey monumentation for $3,000. I also, okay, you need any of those
Nope.
reread?
But let me finish writing that last one.
Estimated cost to construct 2 stormwater ponds for $20,000 and survey monuments for $3,000.
Okay.
Do any other board members have any other questions for our engineering consultant at this time? Rob?
Nope.
Nope. Gooch? Bruce?
No.
Meredith? The chair also directs the code enforcement officer to engage the town's attorney to review the applicant's proposed common driveway easement and maintenance agreement, declaration of restriction and protected covenants. And in particular, respond to, can the declaration of restriction and protected covenants define the rental of a single-family home to be considered a residential use, and does not include, and does this include short-term rental? And let me provide some background to the board for that. Under state law, a DEP permit is required for a subdivision of under 30 acres unless it is a single residential units less than 30 number, if I remember correctly.
Oh, sorry, less than 15 of lots and.
Yeah, less than 15 lots.
And less than 30 acres, or it's a,
Yeah,
it's an
30 acres
but you,
and 15
yes, you're there, yep.
And that restricts it to solely to single-family residential use.
This is restricted to that.
And the, in the proposed restriction, declaration of restrictions and protected covenants, the applicant is proposing to define rental of a unit as residential and being residential in nature. And so I'm asking the town attorney to review that. That's as far as I'm gonna go with that at this point, since we're just talking about completeness, not the compliance with the ordinance. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, so any questions from anybody so far? Waivers on submission requirements. UDRO section 22A allows for the planning board to grant waivers to submission requirements. And I quote from the, lost my spot here. And I quote from the UDRO, where the planning board makes written findings of fact that there are special circumstances of a particular site proposed to be subdivided or developed, it may waive portions of the submission requirements, provided that the applicant has demonstrated that the standards of this ordinance have been or will be met, the public health, safety, and welfare are protected, and the provided waivers do not have the effect of nullifying the intent and purpose of the comprehensive plan or any ordinance. The applicant is requesting a submission waiver to the submission requirements for a Class A high-intensity soil survey. This is a requirement under the submission section of the UDRO, in particular, sections 10C2D 18. Does any member of the board want to take a time to go look at that or not?
Where is it?
Section 10C2D 18, Roman numeral 18.
E, section 10.
On
Page is that?
44.
Page 44. UDRO section 10C2D 18 reads, a Class A high-intensity soil map covering the parcel to be developed and a written soils report will be prepared by a Maine registered soil scientist. The board may waive or modify this requirement for lots greater than 2 acres or 2 acres in size or for minor subdivisions. Mr. Dutton, would you please orally give your argument for the waiver?
Sure. The, trying to keep this fairly short. The high-intensity soils mapping was born out of USDA back in the day, having to do with farming suitability. It's been adapted over time into ordinances for reasons that I won't get into or or commentate on. But basically, those soil standards have very little to do with the ability to develop on a particular piece of property, with the exception of, is there suitable soil for wastewater? And are there soils that have a high susceptibility to erosion and sedimentation control, in my humble opinion. So in this case, we have small building envelopes in very highly developable soils. So we're using the USCS, the county soils maps to support that it's they're basically sand and gravels in the lower portion of that site where we're building. The rest of the site is steeper, as you pointed out, Gooch, and I mean, there's ledge exposed in some parts, and so shallow to ledge and all over the rest. But in the locations proposed for development, there are at least one suitable septic site shown, and evidence for that from a licensed site evaluator. That would be Scott Dixon with our office, as well as the county soils mapping shows really good sands and gravels from the movement of material that's been on site already. That's evident. So that's the shortest answer on why we don't think.
Any questions on that from members of the board? The code enforcement officer has reached out to our consulting engineer and requested their input to the request. Joelle, would you please?
Sure. For the record, I'll
Sure.
read this out loud.
Yes, please.
Okay. My question, my email to them, hello gentlemen, we have several new subdivisions coming through the Newry Planning Board in the next few weeks/months. Do you, as our third-party reviewing engineers, need a class 1 soil analysis to do your review of a 7-lot subdivision? Question mark. The applicant has asked for a waiver, and we didn't want to approve that waiver without your input as our third-party reviewers. Thank you, Joel Corey. The response from Will Haskell of Goral Palmer. Hi Joel, are the proposing separate single-home septic systems for the 7-lot subdivision? Question. If so, we only need test pit logs, typically required by the Maine Subsurface Wastewater Disposal Rules, completed by a licensed site evaluator. If they are proposing to combine any of the disposal fields so that the flows exceed 2,000 gallons per day, there may be more soils information that is necessary. Also, if they are proposing stormwater treatment BMPs such as bioretention cells, grass under drain soil filters, infiltration basins, wet detention ponds, they should get soil test pits at those locations logged by a soil scientist. Thank you, Will Haskell. Goral Palmer.
Okay, so on the last part of that, the bioretention, et cetera, just needs separate test pit analysis, doesn't need a Class A.
Does not need a Class A, according to Will, correct. And we don't have any bioretention cells, we just have 2 stormwater ponds. That does not appear to, and I'll refer to this engineer sitting in front of us, would that be an infiltration basin or a wet detention pond?
They are infiltration basins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Can I get a copy of that, Joel?
Yeah.
Finding it, thanks.
So, according to Will, and I'll make a copy of this for you, Rick.
Mhm.
We have a test pit for, lot 1, the northerly side of lot 1. I don't see a test pit for the stormwater easement area, above lot 6. Am I missing it?
This is lot by lots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stormwater test pit 2. I'll have to double check on it.
Okay, it
Maybe
looks like
something that-
stormwater 1 is over on lot 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, we may be missing a lot in that location.
I'll go make some copies. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Does the board have any questions concerning the waiver?
On lot 1, the stormwater easement delineated area has about 30 feet of pitch drop, however you'd like to discuss it, in the area that says stormwater pond easement. I've got it right here. I just wondered how you're gonna build a pond with 30 feet of pitch in it.
Gooch, that question is not necessarily related to the waiver request.
Okay.
And while it's a good question, I encourage you to hold it at the
Okay.
appropriate time.
I'll bite my tongue.
Thank you. And my apologies, I hate to do it, but please hold it, and we'll get back to it. Rob, you have anything on the waiver request?
No.
Gooch, you have any other questions that are strictly on the Class A soil analysis
Nope.
waiver request?
Nope.
Bruce?
No.
Meredith?
No.
I will entertain a motion on concerning the waiver request, please.
I make a motion that we grant the waiver.
I'll second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the applicant's request to waive the requirement of submission requirement 10C2D18, specifically the requirement for a Class A high-intensity soil map be granted. All those in favor?
1, 2,
3. The waiver has been granted unanimously. Rick, does the applicant have any other waiver requests concerning submission requirements that you would like to put to the board at this, or for
Believe
hold your
that's it.
silence?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Rob, have you had sufficient time to review the application for completeness?
I have, yes,
Meredith, have you had, Gooch, have you had sufficient time to review the application for completeness?
I read it twice. Yes.
Bruce, have you had sufficient time to review the application for completeness?
for the most part, yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I will entertain a motion that Form 10.1 is complete.
I make a motion that Form 10.1 is complete.
I'll second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that Form 10.1 is complete. And we'll go into discussion. Does any board member have any missing items for 10.1?
Speak up.
I'd like to ask about the, it's, may just be administrative, but there's a place where it's talking about if the applicant is a corporation, there's a bunch of things it's looking for, which don't seem to be present.
In other words, the statement that the corporation is licensed to do business in Maine is missing.
Certificate of
That is
corporation.
item number 1.
Yep.
Any other?
All three of these seem to be missing. I didn't have it on my
Okay.
packet.
Meredith? Gooch?
He's right, it seems to be missing, but I wasn't sure whether there's a corporation to do business in Maine or just a corporation to do business in California.
All right, well, we need to have a copy of the certificate of corporation and a statement that the corporation is licensed to do business in Maine. So normally that can be one and the same, so that is missing. The application also requires a list of names and contact details for each member of the LLC, which is not included. And Form 10.1 also requires a statement as to whether or not any members of the LLC have an interest in any of the abutting parcels.
I thought that was.
See, it was stated at least that they don't, in the next page,
Yeah.
2 of 2.
Okay, so that one's, however, we don't have a list of names of contact details, so we don't. Okay. So, Mr. Dutton, we need basically, a statement or the copy of certificate of corporation for 4J LLC that would show that they're
Sorry, Mr.
licensed
Chair,
to do business.
there's also a missing attachment, I think, because it's a corporation.
I'm sorry?
I think there's a missing attachment. If it's a corporation, provide a statement. So, about the abutters, I
Yep.
think this is specific to it being a corporation. So even though it's, I don't know if this counts to be just you to put it in the box and that's a statement, or does it need to be a separate statement, signed statement? The bottom of
Let me
page
get
2.
to 10.1. Let's see what
That you can work on, is it supposed to?
Check box at the bottom.
Provide a statement describing the interest the applicant has in any property. The applicant is 4J LLC, not necessarily members of the LLC.
And then on
The
page
check
2 of 2.
box at the
Yeah,
bottom.
In
Put
the
it on.
checkbox, if the applicant or parcel owner is a corporation, provide a statement describing any interest corporate officers, in this case, members, because it's an LLC, have in abutting parcels. Okay, so it appears that there are some discrepancies on Form 10.1. A motion has been made that 10.1 is complete, and it has been seconded. We've had discussion. Is there any more discussions? Okay, I will now move to a vote. Gooch, how do you vote?
Can you vote the negative?
Yes.
I vote the negative.
Okay. Bruce?
I vote this incomplete.
Incomplete. I too vote that it's incomplete. Let the record show that the motion fails. Application form 10.1 has been missing attachment. Mr. Dunn, do you need any more clarification as to what is missing?
Okay, the articles of incorporation statement about the principles of the corporation, and then lastly would be interest in abutting properties as a statement, right?
Yeah, from the members of the LLC. So in other words, the board would like to know who makes up the members, who are the members of the LLC, and do they have any conflict of interest in the budding properties?
And then that's on
Form 10.1.
Form 10.1, so, I guess, is that a supplement that the board's looking for in that case, where it's a letter from the applicant or from the principals of the LLC? Or, because basically it's been stated on Form 10.1, but you're looking for a supplement letter from?
Well,
the
what's stated on
principal?
Form 10.1 is that the applicant for J LLC,
Mhm.
the limited liability corporation, has no conflicts. The
Gotcha.
question is, do any of the members, as private citizens, have conflicts or interest in any of the budding properties?
Understood. So if that was confirmed and stated in that same box, does that,
You could do that,
does
yes.
that do it for the board,
You
or
could-
are you
you-
looking for like a letter statement from the principals?
It does say
I
attachment.
think we can just, I'm okay with the general, but we also earlier in Form 10.1 is on the first page down in the middle, it says attachments. If applicant is a corporation, state whether the corporation is licensed to do business in the state of Maine, a copy of the certificate of corporation, a list of names and contact information for all corporate officers, or in this case, members of the LLC. If you provide that, then you can also do, as you were suggesting, in the provide a statement describing the interest that the applicant has in any properties, just expand that to say none of the members personally.
Sure.
Okay. We will, so 10.1 is to be continued. We will now move on to Form 10.2. I will entertain a motion. Find my paperwork here. I will entertain a motion that Form 10.2 is complete.
Sure. I make a motion that 10.2 is complete.
Bruce, will you second that?
I will second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded that Form 10.2 is complete. We'll go into discussion. Rob, do you have any questions or issues with Form 10.2?
Did I miss the DOT? Or is that only because it's,
This section of Sunday River Road is not covered by the DOT requirements, I believe,
This
it's
is Monkey
marked as
Brook Road.
attached?
or Monkey Brook Road.
It's marked as attached in the form, so that's why I was reacting to it.
Okay, that might be a,
Which number is that?
Yeah.
That's 15.
It's an or statement, I think, right? So it's, yeah, DOT, if the driveway entrance will enter into 2 or 26. Otherwise, a
Yeah,
letter
that's
showing
because
town approval for entrance.
it's marked as attached to the checkbox as opposed to not.
Well,
applicable.
Right,
We have,
so-
it's from Sunday River Resort, huh? A
okay.
copy of the approved driveway.
Okay.
Now, do we have any response from Sunday River?
only that email that's attached here and under 10.2.
which was sent to Sunday River but not responded to by Sunday River.
No, it's from Dana.
Yeah,
It's
Dana
from Dana.
sent it,
Yeah.
Can I just read it?
I think I just didn't understand that email.
Understood, yeah, so that
Parties.
the previous discussions in that email was,
Okay, it vaguely refers to some discussion that we're not privy to.
Right.
That was my
Yeah.
question, is
That's
that-
exactly what it is.
It could use more clarification. But it does have the president of Sunday River Resort affirming that he agrees with whatever they sent to him.
Yes, okay.
We're assuming that's S 2.1.
yeah.
Good point there, Rob. Meredith, do you have anything from Form 10.2? Gooch?
Question.
Bruce?
No,
Okay, I too had noticed what Mrs. driveway approval for Sunday River, but I think the discussion has clarified that. Any more discussion on the motion? The motion has been made and seconded that Form 10.2 is complete. May I have a vote, please?
make a motion that.
No, we already had the motion. We're taking a vote. Gooch?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes,
Yes. Form 10.2 has been approved or deemed complete unanimously. We'll now move on to Form 10.3. Before we go to the motion here, since alternates should be discussing after the motion's made, we'll go in, we'll ask first and then motion later. Rob, do you have any issues with Form 10.3?
I do not.
Meredith?
No.
Gooch?
No.
no, I do not.
I do. Rick, item 5A, Lot 7, the existing lot is not shown or included in any of the plans.
That should have a lot number on
That
it.
should have a lot number on it, and it should be shown in its entirety in the plan, not cut off. Or, that does on that plan, but the plan I have kind of just slices it off, type of thing.
This one
Oh,
right here.
So there's subdivision plan, here, and then there's also, the piece that's prepared by the engineering side of things, so that's the, I think we're referring to that one right there is cut off, because we're showing this as a site plan, this is, infrastructure.
Okay,
It's really there to show the ponds and how that grading works.
okay.
Um,
Also, item 5B, lot lines with dimensions and areas. I don't believe you have the dimension and areas of lot 7, do you?
We've certainly got meets and bounds labels around the outside, but I don't think we have the area of the existing lot.
Yes. Please make sure that your final application has that in there, please. Also, item number 6 of Form 10.3, does, existing drinking water wells and subsurface wastewater disposal areas on the budding properties not shown, nor are the proposed drinking water well locations on the lots shown.
So the suggested subsurface disposal locations are the test pit symbols, meaning that it's presumed, and again, we can do something different if it suits the board, but it's presumed that those locations, because we've got single-family residential and we're not planning out where the person is gonna build, that those are the passing test pit location.
Okay,
It's
what
likely-
about the existing subsurface water wastewater disposal field infrastructure that on the budding properties that affect the location of drinking water wells for,
I think we had.
Rick, maybe the paragraph of Scott's letter under section 2, tab 2.
The groundwater supply.
The last paragraph of Scott Dixon's letter.
which one are you looking at?
Just before all the test pit data,
What's the title of the letter?
title of the letter is sewage disposal statement, UDR 10.2D 17.
Okay.
That's it.
You wanna read what you're seeing there, Joanne?
Yep. In summary, in the areas investigated, the proposed subdivision lots do contain soil conditions suitable for on-site domestic wastewater disposal. That is bolded and underlined. Some code setbacks which might apply to locations investigated include the leach field needing to be at least 20 feet from below-grade house foundations and 100 feet from an existing or new well. So, when I look at subsurface wastewater designs, when they come in my office, let's say for a contractor or homeowner for lot 6, when they submit their proposed applications to me, the first thing I'm gonna do is verify that they've measured that neighbor's well
Okay.
from the leach field, so.
So you're saying that the depicting existing wells on one of the plans of the application is not required.
That is my opinion as a LPI, yes.
Okay?
Yeah, there were a couple of those that we're gonna run into that, we find difficult to provide the board what the form is looking for, because we can't go on to someone else's land to survey. So we can use aerial imagery sometimes to make assumptions, and then obviously if we're talking about a septic system that's close to a property line, then at the time of design, the licensed site evaluator is going to need to, make those necessary measurements. But I think there was something about structures within 500 feet.
Yep. Item number 11.
Yeah, so we've accomplished that through aerial imagery, and I think using the town's GIS database to say, here's where the structures show.
Right.
But
You
physically
did not put that
surveyed.
on the plans.
What's that?
You did not show those on the plans.
Not on these larger plans, yeah, we've shown them as plan exhibits that are part of the application package. But yeah, those, when you're talking about finding elements on somebody else's land, it's a little bit, a little bit touchy, so.
That'd be grounds for a waiver request.
Oh,
Well, potentially if that's, you know, that's how the board wants to see it. Yeah, some of them we try to do through, through exhibits using the town's GIS system.
Meredith, any questions on Form 10.3? Rob, any points on 10.3?
Nope.
Gooch,
I have a question. Mhm.
go ahead.
So you stated that they're exhibits, huh? Where is the exhibit for number 11?
Just look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there.
I didn't see it.
It says not.
It's 10.3, number 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a look at that.
Actually, I had it marked as not applicable, so.
Right.
Yeah.
It is marked as not applicable, but is the board comfortable with that? Or does the board want to see location?
A screenshot of our GIS map?
Yeah, that's essentially how we're trying
I mean,
to.
so we're looking for verification though, right? Within that 500 feet.
Yeah, you're asking for location, ground floor area, and height of buildings, so a lot of those are difficult to obtain unless you're on the property.
The height would be difficult to obtain unless you're on the property. I mean, the GIS maps as well as the
or
tax
you-
card
Or you
data.
dig into the building permits.
Yeah, and if, my predecessor did not get real detailed plans.
You know, are there buildings within 500 feet of the lots?
Yeah.
Okay.
That on your run.
On your own.
Yeah.
Can I make a recommendation?
You may.
I agree that they should be shown, but maybe waive, if they request it, the height requirement.
Thoughts? Good with what? Specifically what Joel was saying?
Yeah, they waive out height restrictions.
Not the restrictions, just the requirement for
Requirement,
number
height
11.
requirement.
To
You
show
know,
that.
to show the location of the buildings.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I mean, would you be just like a two-story building, or is that?
No, it just shows the
The footprint.
footprint of the,
Yeah.
There's really no reason to know the height, to be
No.
quite honest.
Yeah.
We don't have a view shed issue. It's not like we're on the coast and, yeah, we don't need to know that. Edit for another time.
well, seeing that Form 10.1's incomplete, you probably have Rick able to put down the building footprints on Deer Run and any across the street on Monkey Brook, you know, within 500 feet.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion on Form 10.3 being complete. Gooch or Bruce?
I make a motion that it's not complete.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
All right, the motion is that Form 10.3 is not complete, and specifically, I think we're referring to item number 11 of the form, is that correct?
Right.
And depicting the footprint of buildings within 500 feet of the subdivision,
No waiving the height.
and, you know, do not be,
The dimensions of the areas. Yeah.
And-
5A and
yeah,
item 6.
yeah, and items 5A and 5B
Yeah.
to show the full information for lot 7. All right, the motion is that 10.3 is not complete, it has been seconded. We've had discussion, how do you vote, Gooch? In favor for that it's not complete, or not in favor, which would mean that it is complete?
Yes, I was trying to figure that out. I make a vote that I'm in favor that it's not complete.
Okay, thank you.
So I would say. I'm in
You have
favor
what
of
he
it's
has?
not complete.
You have what he
Yeah,
said?
it's not complete, yeah. Just to cover my tracks.
I too am in favor. So the board has found that unanimously that Form 10.3 is not complete. Rick,
Put it in the positive, we can say it is incomplete.
is incomplete, yes. And that is item 5A and B, and item number 11.
What about item 6?
Item 6 went away.
Oh,
I split that one from mine. Okay, that leaves Form 10.4. Form 10.4 is accompanying documents. Meredith, do you have any issues with Form 10.4?
no.
Rob, any points for 10.4?
I did not spot anything.
Okay. Gooch?
No, I don't think so.
Excuse me. Bruce?
I find it complete, so I'm good. Control myself.
Under item 11, Rick, other information not indicated above as specified by the planning board on the application. I would like to put forth to the board that the applicant provide driveway construction details, including drainage and surface preparation, that has been reviewed and approved by Sunday River, the owner of the private road that these driveways service or will let out onto.
So do you just want the apron or the entire drive?
No, I understand that the construction of the driveway is gonna be the lot owner's responsibility. I would like to see construction detail of what that driveway should be built to.
Okay, so the property owner does the entire driveway, including the apron.
Whatever the applicant puts forth, that is that Sunday River is in agreement with. So Sunday River agrees that the driveway can be unpaved, and that's fine. If Sunday River requests that the driveway, the first 25 feet of the driveway be paved in order to protect the surface of Monkey Brook Road, then that should be considered.
Mr. Dutton's thinking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about how to achieve what you're asking there.
These
There's-
are shared,
there's
these are
gotta be-
shared driveways too.
There are shared driveways, there's gotta be drainage underneath the driveway, is there not?
It could be, yeah, depends on the situation. So for example,
2 and 3, in between 2 and 3.
yeah, in between 2 and 3, I think it's, yeah, there would be the potential for a culvert there.
Plus, as has been pointed out, these are shared driveways. Once this application leaves the planning board, there is no oversight as to what the construction of that driveway should be or needs to be,
Not from the town.
not from the town. And I am proposing or suggesting that the planning board dictate what the construction construction of the driveway should be at least for the first 25 feet or whatever in order to ensure the protection of the Monkey Brook Road and the owner of that road.
Rick, do you know, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
You mean?
Rick, do you know the legal right-of-way width of Monkey Brook Road in that section? Is it on, I don't see it on S.1. I didn't know if it was detailed out. You can see it better on your larger plans than I'm gonna.
We only show the side of the right of way that establishes the lot line for the
Okay.
properties. So that's been established. I can check with Chuck on that. It's typically presumed that the road is in the center, but we know that that's not always the case, so.
Okay.
But I mean, we could get whether that's was originally a 3-rod or a
Or rod
4-rod,
yeah.
what have you.
Mr. Chairman, would it be more appropriate for Sunday River Corporation to spec the end of driveways?
Explain, please.
The driveway is abutting their road. And assuming it's gonna go across their right of way. So would it be more appropriate that they said, we would like the driveway to look like this?
Yes, that was part of what I think I presented was that the construction detail of the driveways be something that both the applicant and the owner of the right-of-way have worked out.
Can I jump in? Okay, I'd offer up that potentially what that's gonna do if we have included in the approval some kind of specification or design of those driveways. That's gonna bring the CEO necessarily into that process to review it against those plans versus in the case of not doing it, then it's between the builder of the driveway and Sunday River to be satisfactory between the two of them.
But does not the town have an interest in protecting private property?
Oh, yeah, they may, that's not I guess I'm offering that up for the board, is that it's potentially bringing.
Well, there's already an instance in Lot 7 that driveway was put in with no approval sought or review sought by Sunday River.
No.
And that driveway itself is a very steep incline driveway that has the possibility of washing out onto
And it does.
Monkey Brook Road.
Mhm.
And thus the reason I'm following this chain of this stream.
Understood.
So you are in talks with Dana, about where the driveway locations were. So when you share those plans, can it also be, we recommend a 15-inch culvert, this is what the swale would look like. I'm very familiar with the lot as a whole. I know it's relatively flat, where it's already been excavated for a number of years. So the driveway between lots 2 and 3 might be the only one that requires a culvert, but to protect what is a private road as well as the future property owners. I mean, I think that might be something that the applicant and Sunday River might want to work out, 2 engineers to 2 engineers.
Yeah. Yeah, so quantifying that on what we come back to the board with, I guess if that's where my head's at.
It would be protecting both parties.
Do we show that as an apron, like I think Gooch was talking about, and then, propose a culvert size, and then that shows up on our C 2.1, which is our engineer drawing? If that would be sufficient for, demonstrating that, and then, we can continue to follow up with, hey Dana, here's what's being proposed as far as the apron and the.
In addition to this, Monkey Brook Road services how many residential lots?
90, another 30, Riley Road, a lot.
At what point
You want a road section?
I am going into section 24 definitions. At what point is Monkey Brook Road gonna have to meet a primary road standard? Primary road having a minimum of 60-foot right-of-way with a travelway of width of at least 22 feet and 4-foot wide shoulders. By our comprehensive plan, one of the tasking of the planning board is to allow for future expansion of right-of-ways and roadways. In other words, it might be that the subdivision needs to allocate for a future easement to accommodate a primary road going past it.
So a greater setback from the
A
road?
great, well, possibly
The
a greater
current
setback.
location of the road?
Yeah.
Considering that there's the largest hotel in the state of Maine at the end of this road, I'd almost think that it would be a class 1 road at this point.
It might be. I am not familiar with the construction details of
I see
Monkey
research
Brook
couple.
Road. And whether it was built back in the early 90s, about the time that the UDRO was being formulated, and whether or not it was built to as a primary road or not, should be verified.
Okay.
And if it's not, then
Is
the
that,
board should consider, and again, we're getting a little bit out of the completeness factor, but I think it would be
pretty
appropriate for
serious
the
topic.
for the
Yeah.
plans to show, if it has to, allotting space for the expansion of Monkey Brook Road to meet primary road standards. In addition to the hotel, you also have, let's see, you got, On the Green subdivision, you got Mahoosic Glen subdivision, you got Merrill Hill subdivision, and some private lots, and future expansion in Riley Township, which
Who knows?
in somebody's gleam of somebody's eye might become, and the, access might be via Monkey Brook Road.
Is
The
this a question,
presumption- So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
is this a question I should be asking the attorney also to review? Yes.
Possibly, yes, the UDRO does a great job in defining our authority or jurisdiction over a town road. It is rather poor in a private road. But one of the responsibilities of the planning board is to protect private property
Mhm.
of the town, and that would include the private property that Monkey Brook Road is built on.
Okay. Rick, I interrupted you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I interrupted you, and my thought is that. In relation to completeness here, I could see showing aprons and specifying culverts, and then having further sign off from Sunny River in
some form or another.
Is the applicant willing to specify construction detail of the 3 shared driveways and the existing driveway on lot 7? That would be coordinated with Sunday River.
Lot 7 is gonna be out of our reach,
No, it's part of the subdivision.
but it's, I think state statute, puts that as not a reviewable lot under, I mean, we can't go back and encumber that lot in the review process.
Question for the lawyer?
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
And so is lot 7 already been sold, is that?
Yeah,
It's
lot
already
7 is
built
sold
on.
and built.
so that would be,
That's that one house that's on, as you
Within
make,
5 years, so.
then the last, and it was built in,
2021.
in Forget LLC purchased the 28 some acres
No.
in in 2019, and then split approximately 3.5 acres, lot 7, off in 2021. Because that split occurred within 5 years, that lot is now part of the subdivision. So the question for the attorney is, if the planning board specifies driveway construction detail, does that apply to the situation of lot 7?
Or is in fact that thing just grandfathered as it is, right?
That's another way of putting it, yeah.
right. The other question I'd have would be, when we say specification for driveway construction, I'd want to be sure what that language is.
To meet
because
the
they're-
meet the town, meet the UDRO stormwater management. And also, I think it's chapter 15 for driveway entrances.
Aren't we reaching pretty far out to get somebody who's owned it for 4 years to say, hold it, you gotta redo your driveway?
Yeah. we get
That's what the question is for the lawyer right now.
Yeah, I thought-
I'm
I think
not
that's-
disagreeing with you, I'm just saying that needs to be, because lot
The
7 is
question is,
part of
once
the
the question is
subdivision.
asked, I don't know if we can really go back and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lawyer
it's-
question.
It's an old one, way back whenever.
All right,
Okay.
So,
So again, specifications could be things such as,
The-
what type of gravel, is it,
the
Do you
surface,
specify
the
a-
surface
can I-
preparation,
do you mind just for a second, so? to
yeah, no,
complete the
I'm
thought?
sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Because I want your feedback on this specifically. Specifications in the engineering world are sometimes, you know, the material gradation of gravel, or could be the depth of the gravel, and each type of gravel specified in layers. And so I'm looking for the specificity, I guess, on what engineering specifications mean to everybody for the board. Are we showing the location and the grading in plan form? Or are we talking about sections of driveways and types of gravel and so forth? The latter being probably further than this board will have seen typically for a driveway submittal in the past. So I'm not necessarily suggesting it, but I'm highlighting that the language that we use as engineers is sometimes, I just want to be clear with it. That's all.
To answer your question, the stormwater, as part of the stormwater management plan, any driveway that is going to impact stormwater runoff or needs to be designed such that it fits into the plan.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yep, that's 100%.
And- Second, since Monkey Brook is a private road, any other requirements towards driveway construction, obviously not the entire driveway, but the section of the driveway that goes on to or has the potential of affecting Monkey Brook Road, so that needs to be coordinated with the owner of that private road. And a letter from, or a joint letter or a letter from Sunday River stating that they are, you know, we don't care, we care a lot, and this is what we want, or we care somewhat, and this is the minimum, you know, that's it.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that now, and I think, if I repeat it back to you and the rest of the board, so that, I don't have an accidental miscommunication, I think we could show the driveway aprons, up to 25 feet back, into the property, which should cover any, the location of culverts at, you know, driveway culverts at the road edge, as well as drainage, since the site is all draining toward the road.
Mhm.
So, we're not gonna need anything.
Sorry.
That jumped me too, so, sorry about that. Yeah, the short answer is I think 25 covers it, so that we're not needing another culvert in a hollow or something
Right,
like that.
right.
So I can show that with grading on the C 2.1,
Okay.
and then have additional feedback from Senator River on that.
That would be appreciated, that would make your 10.4 complete.
All right.
The board in agreement with all that?
Works for me.
Rob?
Or
Sure?
I think so.
Gooch? Meredith? Okay. I will make the motion that Form 10.4 is not complete for reasons that have been thoroughly discussed, and do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Rick, are you clear now on what you need to do to make 10.4 complete?
I think so. I think that's all I heard was
Yep.
the number 11 and the driveway.
That's correct.
I am clear. Thank you.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that Form 10.4 has been found incomplete. Those in the affirmative that it is incomplete?
1, 2.
3. Okay,
What's on?
at this point, we will table the application.
Do I have a quick,
Yes,
I noticed that you have an application number on
yes,
that there?
that's 25-285, which was discussed earlier in the.
Oh, I didn't hear you actually verbalize that.
Rick, there is a high probability of a public hearing. I know that Joel has gotten some inquiries from abutters, as well as the board would like to hear from Sunday River, or give them the opportunity to address the board. And while I'm not asking for a motion at the moment, I would like a general consensus or feel from the board as to whether or not a site visit will be required. Rob or Meredith?
Excuse the interruption, can you guys walk up?
Yep.
Okay.
Lock up.
Thank you.
Jordan again?
No, there's a fire in Bethel.
Fire what?
You say, fire and bell.
Oh,
It's probably-
Gooch, would you,
if we're getting inquiries from the public, yeah, we probably ought to have a hearing
so there is a probability that there will also be a site visit requirement.
I'm gonna have to go up there and refresh myself, it's been a while.
Before we table your application, Rick, you have any questions or comments that you would like to ask the board or that you share with the board?
Just a curiosity, the number 285, is that the number?
The application number is 25-285,
Yeah, does that mean the board has seen 285?
and it's since its inception, yes.
Well,
Oh,
not this year.
No.
Oh, I was saying, I was
So
25 is 25.
285 is a running tally from
Oh, gotcha, okay.
from whenever the UDRO or the planning board started to keep records.
25,
Well, no,
25 is the year.
Yeah, 25.
25 is the
I
year.
was gonna advocate for a raise, I was like, holy moly. I think that should cover it for me, thank you.
Okay,
There was a different numbering system, and then they came up with the year and number. And since they came up with the year and number, we've done 285.
The number just
it
carries
goes,
over
yeah,
it
every
goes
year.
back to at least the early 2000s anyway.
Yeah.
At this point, the application number 25-285 is tabled and will be taken up again possibly on our next meeting, which is the 5th of March. Rick, you are reminded that you have, that we need to have any materials 10 days prior to the next meeting. So if you are, if you rush, you can, but not sacrifice on quality, get that stuff in within the next 4 days. You can be placed on the 5th of March. If not, your application will be taken up on the 19th of March. I believe that's the, yes, the 19th of March. At which point, the board will have to make a decision as to whether the application is complete or not complete, whether we like it or not. Because we will be running into our 30-day time limit. Since we found, what did we find? We found 10.2 and 10.3 complete, did we not? And 10.1 and 10.4 are incomplete?
Just 10.2 is
That 10.3.
10.1 is
Oh,
not,
okay, and
it
10,
failed.
and
10.2 is complete.
10.3 is not, and 10.4 is not.
Right.
Okay,
Only 10.2
so-
is.
So, Rick, you are off the hook for doing any modifications to Form 10.2.
Yeah, did you guys talk
Got it.
about the
And,
driveway beside
Yeah.
the rivers?
and also, Rick, once the application is deemed complete, the board will frown severely on any modifications. And we will say yea or nay to the application on what is in front of us at that point.
Understood, I don't want any frowning.
Okay, thank you, Rick, for your time.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Rick,
Yeah.
there are about 350 people in town. We send out 3,600 tax bills. And we pay more county taxes than any other town in the county. Just because our valuation's that high.
Yeah.
And you are responsible for a lot of that.
All right,
But your mill rate is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
the mill rate is,
Jealous.
the mill rate is, the mill rate is meaningless, because unless you look at the budget or the expenditures and what it has to cover, so just because you have a low mill rate doesn't mean you're not
I've got to be
paying
careful.
a lot of
Yeah, and
taxes.
your personal assessment of,
Well.
All right,
yeah, with it.
moving on to item number 6 on the agenda, I do not believe we have any findings of fact to review, is that correct? We have no reports from the code officer since she has departed in great haste. Open discussion. The town is proposing a vacation rental ordinance, and the town will be having a public meeting as opposed to a public hearing
Oh, good.
on February 26th at 5 PM at the Grange Hall. Now, this is not, and I say again, for everybody out there on Western Hill, a planning board initiative. However, the planning board is probably interested in it. It is not our project. However, members of the planning board are encouraged to attend the public meeting on February 26th, where the code enforcement officer will be presenting the draft ordinance as it currently is drafted, and then is looking for feedback from stakeholders such as property management, owners of vacation rental properties, and the public in general, before the final ordinance is put forth to the town elders for placement on the warrant in May. Is that- Anybody have any questions on that? And if you want to see if you want a copy of the ordinance as currently drafted, please contact Joelle and she will email you a copy.
I've already got one.
Good.
She emailed me one.
Well, she might have emailed one to the
Yeah.
board anyway. So.
She sent it out, yeah.
Our next meeting is, is there any other open discussion
She put it in
items
the
that
email
people
that
want to
you sent
discuss?
Really recently.
Rob, you have anything for open discussion?
I do not.
Gooch?
Nope.
Meredith?
February 11th.
Bruce?
No, good.
Okay. Let the record show that our next meeting is March 5th, 2025 at 6 PM. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I've seconded it.
There's been a motion to adjourn and it has been properly seconded. All those in favor?
1, 2,
3. This meeting of the Newry Planning Board is adjourned.
why is there no internet here?
There is internet, you just have to have the right, it's out on the hallway with the password and whatnot.
Anybody know how to shut off the TV?
I'll figure it
Another
out.
project
Or-
we're working on,
How to what?
Shut off the TV.
condo units in the parking lot.
Unplug it?
Yeah. I thought was,
So Vicky, I gotta ask you a question. So
What's your question?
your keyboard,
and
is there a way you can
there.
silence those keys?
Right now it says
No.
no way. Why don't you just put it
Because
in?
when you listen to
know.
that whole thing, all you do is click, click,
The
click, click,
lease
click,
is
click,
up.
I know, I don't type nearly
With
as much as
whoever
I
it is,
used to.
it's
I hold off a lot
Yeah.
until I
That lease
do
is
them
up
minutes later.
in
You update this?
2025.
October 2025.
Yeah,
Is everyone gonna miss
Oh,
the,
you're not.
is that cell phone, is that?
Yeah, when we
It is,
update
yeah.
it here.
So that's
Yeah,
probably
can
gonna,
you send me an email?
unless they have another. Very good, thank you guys.
It's a rental.
So she never did put the computer up here.
Did she say where it was?
No, something about the assessor.
Oh, it's probably in the other room then. She's probably locked up.
How much snow you got up at your house?
Total, it's about.
All right, I'm unplugging.
Okay.
No step in it. How deep is it?
Yeah,
It's off. Oh, it's gotta run on batteries too, doesn't it?
It probably does, so.
Inches, low 20s, something like that.
We're 90% complete.
Yay!
Bookworm looks an awful lot like a dragon.
Into the dragon.
So did you get that thing figured out, Rob? No, that was dead.
What thing?
All the beats up there.
Oh, I know nothing about it.
Did you get it figured out?
I don't know if I did or not. I turned it so it faces the window.
Don't see any red lights.
Well, it's turned over there.
It's just turned.
So this is a Brooksy thing, huh?
Probably means I won't get hired by Western Maine Access Television, Western Mills Access Television.
Were you hoping to?
No,
Still recording.
Oh.
I got my hands full of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay, Becky, there's your computer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's up there.
In my house, you can't tell. There, it's naked, and there, it's 2.5 feet.
Yeah,
So,
Pretty well flabbergasted when I read that we provide most, not most, but the highest taxes to the county.
what, Newry?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we have the most income.
We have the highest valuation.
You know?
it's up there.
In my house, you can't tell. There, it's naked, and there, it's 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
So,
Accumulated.
Do you need help with anything, Becky?
I know.
okay, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, good night.
Thank you, Lydia.
Good night.
Planning
Good night.
board, what's this? Non-group. Well, that's your chair, for the main municipal, propaganda stuff.
No, it's actually what's going on in the legislature.
Oh. You go to legislative records. All right, you ready to hit the seat, Governor?
No, I'll wait for Becky to
Okay.
See, it's something there's no.
Yeah.
You're on too.